rolling. Right then. So I have British and world amateur MMA champion, Lewis Wood.
Hello.
How you doing, Lou? You right?
All gravy, my mate. Thank you. What about you?
So I know we're in lockdown at the minute. We can't do a lot. So I'm just all the people who train, all the people I know of really, or know. We're going to be asking them little questions, some questions about their life, with boxing, MMA, different things, just in general. But so what I want to know is let people know about you and what you do and stuff like that. So I'm going to ask. So you're an MMA amateur champion, but just give us a little info on how you started MMA. Why did you want to start MMA?
Started MMA the weirdest way, because it was literally because I started playing the UFC game. That was about it. I really enjoyed it. Thought, I'm going to give this a crack. At the time, we were saving to go on holiday, so we couldn't. My mum and dad couldn't afford to take me to a gym, but they said I could do one session a week. So my brother said, I'll go with you. And we thought it was going to be a fad thing. Well, my mum and dad and my brother thought it was going to be like a fad, or get out of it. And I just stuck to it from there on. Started a local gym by me, and just carried on. Really enjoyed it.
See, that's crazy, because you think from a game, which is like virtual, and you can do this, to also being in a gym, and then someone's kicking you or punching you or getting you in a choke, or it's very real. So you've got to have a certain type of mentality to not get overwhelmed with that and think, sod this hurts. You know what I mean? You've got to have certain.
I think with me, I played football as a kid. I'll talk about my professional football career, and but I played football, and I was always really competitive. But I hated playing in a team setting, because if one player messes up or don't feel good that day, we all go down with him. MMA, I'm on my own. If I lose, it's my own fault. I've got no one else to blame but myself. So it's perfect for me. That's why I'll see it, and I prefer it in that way.
When did you know that you wanted to compete doing it? Because I know, look, your first session in the gym is, did you know from the first session, or did it take a couple of years? But I could be good at this, because first you've got to find out if you're going to be good at it.
Essentially, I wanted to. I didn't know if I wanted to fight. I felt like I wanted to compete. I think everyone should compete. But fighting's a weird one. I did want to be a professional fighter. Me personally, I'm one of the weird mentalities where if I do something, I've got to be the world's best at it. I want to be the greatest. If I like the guitar, I played guitar when I was a kid. I want to be the best at it. I can't be, he's all right. I want to make a living off it. And as you get better and better and better, everyone tells you you're talented and stuff like that. And I never was talented. I always be the fat kid. I couldn't pick my brother up when I first started. But literally, we used to joke that I couldn't. Simple move. Now I could flip him on his head.
Yeah.
Back then, I couldn't lift him up. And now people call you talented and everything else, but it's only because the work's been put in that they'll call it you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't see that. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just see now you're winning titles and stuff like that, but they didn't see how long and how hard you worked to get there.
Yeah, that's it. When I first started as well, our coach kind of took a back seat, and our training and I started to take over. So when I was my first year, I started to coach people, and I coached for maybe 5 years before I actually got a proper coach again. Which I got my new coach now, Joe Silk Cummings, Adam Boyce. I got you, Mitch, as my boxing coach. Ranger, my wrestling coach. I got a proper team behind me now. But back then, I think it was a blessing and a nightmare, really. Because I had no coaching, so I had to teach myself. So technically, I wasn't great, but on paper, I could teach you 1,001 techniques. You know what I mean? So as a coach, I got pretty decent, but as well, it grew my brain in that way as well. So that was a positive. One thing that was a bit different is when you become a coach, you see things that others don't see, and it becomes good, to be honest.
Yeah.
But bad side was, I remember when I went to jiu-jitsu, and one guy who was the coach there, he wasn't the head coach, but he was one of the coaches.
Yeah.
And he said, look at Lewis. If he'd have stuck at this, he'd have been a purple belt by now. I was like, and I sat there with my white belt on. I was like, mate, why would you say such a thing to me, man? So I realised that I could have been a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a black belt in judo. You know what I mean? I could have had all these great things, but because I was too busy coaching, I couldn't do these things.
Yeah.
So then, now I've finally put put some time into myself now and less into other people,
Yeah.
I've shot up now. I feel like I'm as good as I should be and getting better.
I mean, that's what one thing I noticed about you is that coaching. Yeah, like we'll have like in-depth conversations in a session, and you're very like we were sort of saying to the lads. It's what the lads are trained. You're probably got the best, even though you're an MMA lad, you're an MMA fighter. You've got probably the best boxing brain, and that's crazy. And that's considering you don't box human MMA. You train boxing, but that's one of the many aspects you've got to learn and absorb. But it's just you're very technical. And I think that's because you coach, like you say, before you really started competing. Really,
that's it. We had one lad. I won't say his name, but he'll know who he is. Great lad, and he never won. Never won.
Yeah.
We started coaching him. He started going on win streaks and fighting for belts and everything. It was absolutely baffling. It was mental. Great fighter. He's like turned a leaf, and people are like, "Whoa, what's happened to him?" He just got proper coaching. He learned how we learn how he ticked. You know what I mean? We learn what made him a good fighter. If we used to overload and go, well, this is the game plan, and this is how it's going to work. That's how this is going to work. And then he'd go, what? Instead of now, we just go, right, this is what you're going to do. Don't worry about the rest of it. And it worked. Worked really well. We built him back up, and he become a good fighter again. You know what I mean? And he really did show himself in his fights. So very proud of him.
So you went to that's Team Ronin in Stafford, yeah? Where you trained for?
Yeah.
So basically, I started working with you. Was it like I don't know about 6-7 months before you fought for the British, something like that? Maybe a bit longer than that. I can't remember off the head. When did you? Obviously, you had a few bouts before that, like a few fights before that. But when did you think? And what was the people in the gym saying to you, like saying, like, you know what, you can do, you can do this. You're going to fight for a title. So when did that start clicking? How long was you with Team Ronin before you thought, you know what, I feel like different? Oh, you went up levels.
Yeah, well, when I wasn't with Ronin originally. That was So I had 2 fights and I won them. Not great performances, but I won them. But they were quick. They were both in the first round. One was 40 seconds, one was 90. But when I first went, it was UTC back then. It was UTC West Brom. I went to Birmingham as well. That shut, and then I went to West Brom. And Silk was the head coach there. And it was almost like a 1-to-1 in a way, because there weren't that many on the mats. It was just the fighters only. And he started telling me I could do some good things, and he started getting me matched up. And he was like, "Yeah, you can fight him. You can fight him." I was like, "Well, this guy's like 5-0." He's like, "Yeah, you'll smash him." I'm like, "Well, that gives me confidence." And obviously plagued with injuries, but I finally got a fight. I fought. I was matched up to fight Jimmy Thompson originally, and then what did I do? I think I was my wrist. I think I broke my wrist. Yeah, I think my wrist. I broke my wrist because that was back when we was at the old gym, and then it was Christmas time. We had to have a meeting saying the gym had closed. So what happened was we had to go to Stafford.
Yeah.
So I was like, sorry, I'm just gonna go to Stafford. Whatever. It's like 50 miles. Whatever, we'll do it. So we went there, and I got matched up with the same guy. I asked for the fight, so I was like, I watched him fight when we was meant to fight, and I was like, I know I can beat him. I thought I was going to submit him or box him, but it went really, really well, obviously. But yeah, after that point, when I won that title, I felt like I was meant to be in there. I had a smile on my face walking out, which is usually I'm not stressful. I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
But I started to enjoy that pressure in the Jimmy Thompson fight and the Rustam fight. I really started to enjoy myself. I went out there with a smile on my face. I kept dancing around because I was so happy to fight. So I was chuffed to be in there. And that's when it clicked that fighting, I don't need to be afraid of it. I just enjoyed the pressure. I enjoyed the moment of it. And that's when I won, that's me personally, that's when I was like, yeah, I can make something of this.
It's like, I remember you getting ready for that Jimmy Thompson fight, and I was like, all that build up, all this, and he sort of like had that demeanour about him. You know, that I think, was he 3-0? Was he 3-0?
3-0, yeah, 3-0.
3-0, and then just, what was it? You knocked him out, was it 40 seconds? 45, 40 seconds?
40-something seconds.
Yeah. And I think that was a statement, really. I think that by you doing that got your hunger back as well. Because you're like, you know what, that ain't...
Oh, yeah, big time.
Because you know what, everyone says, oh, lucky punch. There's no such thing as a lucky punch. You've thrown the punch to land. No one throws a punch to miss.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, he was a peach.
Yeah, well, with him, I felt like I heard his walkout music before I come out. I heard him coming out to In the Air by Phil Collins. I was like,
yeah.
who does this guy think he is? Like, man,
Yeah.
he thinks he's already made it, sort of thing. Usually, he doesn't walk out to that song. He's made a spectacle of the fight. That's what he was trying to do. But I didn't. I come out to drop the bomb on him by Eminem, which is a bit different. And I just thought it was funny. And ironically, it happened. So ever since then, also I've been like, I pick walkout songs to like fit the camp itself, the theme of the camp. And that one I felt like I was trying to make it my coming out party sort of thing.
I remember it was completely so. You had the Jimmy Thompson fight, and then I remember you text me to say, and I was like, "What do you mean?" You text me to say, "I've got a world title shot."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? Hang on a minute. I think I called you." I was like, "What? Hang on. What do you mean? I haven't called you?" Got it. Battle Arena world title. I was like, right. And then I remember it was Rustam. How do you pronounce his last name?
It's a Jeff, yeah, the wrestler.
It's a Jeff. And then I remember, and I was like, and there was hardly any footage, man, for a long time. And I'm like, so I remember being on Instagram, being on Facebook, YouTube, trying anywhere to get a little bit of footage. And that you did get footage, but it was.
Mate, it was hard to get.
And his wrestling credentials and stuff like this, what he'd done and stuff like that, he was quite, and you were like, okay, this should be interesting.
Yeah, it was. I thought he was going to come out and he was going to try and bang, but I think what put him off straight away was the head kick. First thing that landed him was a head kick.
Yeah.
Straight away, clipped him in the face, and it kind of put him into a shell when he missed his shot coming back.
I think, like you said, he saw you, like he said, the comment he made at the weigh-in, and the comment he made at the weigh-in, and then, because there's hardly any footage of you, considering all your fights are on YouTube, but they're all within a minute, most of them. There's footage, but there ain't footage. You can't take a lot off it.
Nah.
But then I think he come in with that bit of arrogance, of like,
God.
And then I think, like you say, very, very, very early in that fight, he was like, "Wow, this is real. This ain't like,
He'd never been it. He'd never been it.
British MMA is a lot different to where was it? Was it Denmark?
Yeah.
Was it Denmark?
Oh, Netherlands? No, not Netherlands.
Was it Denmark? Was it Norway?
Nah, it was Norway. That's
Norway,
one.
Yes, Norway or Denmark. Yeah, Norway. And I think that's
come from Chechnya, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he was from Norway or whatever it was. But he thought he was somewhere else as well. What's that?
He was Chechnya when he Chechnya. Yeah.
Come out with his little Khabib hat on and stuff like that for other fights. And he just made him look like a fool, didn't he? It's just one of them. The Khabib hat's a weird one because I think it's a religious thing. But I never saw it before Khabib, however. So it's a funky one, really.
Everyone's jumping on.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But he definitely thought he was better than he was. You know what I mean? Well, not better than he was. He was good, but he was. He definitely thought he'd made it before he made it.
And then after then, you won the world title. Was he second round stoppage? It was, wasn't he?
Second round, yeah. Armbar, triangle to armbar.
I remember. And then obviously, then you said, then he's like, okay. And then I remember someone from Battle Arena interviewing you saying, okay, what next? Now you're going to defend your lightweight title, and then you said, no, I'm dropping down to featherweight because I'm not a featherweight.
Yeah.
Now that's when. And I remember you was getting ready for the fight. Your lightweight, your featherweight debut.
Yeah.
And you got injured. Was it your wrist?
My foot. That one was.
No, it was your foot. It was your foot.
Yeah. So I fractured my toe, fractured into the foot, dislocated it, and sprained it, but partially tore the ligaments in it. So that was a bit of a nightmare.
I think that's the thing with, like I was saying to you before, so boxing's obviously, I'm all boxing. Look, I'm a fan of MMA, but like more boxing. And we was talking about this before, that boxing is more. There's more, obviously, loads more head trauma in boxing than in MMA. But to be more trauma on the body as a whole, like pull ligaments, fractures, stuff like that, MMA is a lot higher. Oh,
way more. Contact sport, it's like a wrestling contact sport. It's like
it's brutal, isn't it?
Contact. Yeah, exactly. You might get like a torn shoulder in boxing, but not many knees go in boxing. But you get more head trauma. That's the only difference. It's like it's a weird one.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, carry on. That's all about it.
No, so day-to-day injuries, MMA, you get, MMA is a lot.
And going on to what we were on about is weight cutting, big one. Dieting heavy throughout your camp, and then you got to cut weight at the end of it. You diet so heavy in MMA. Boxing, you diet as well, but they stay close to their weight class is pretty good. But
Yeah.
MMA, it's £15 per weight class, £10 to £15 per weight class.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of weight, really. So if you want to drop down from middleweight 84 to 70 kilo, which is pretty regular, you're looking about what, a 7 to 8 kilo diet, and then probably 6 to 7 kilo water cut. So it's a bit of a nasty one, really.
That's the thing. I think a lot of that is, well, there's a lot more weight classes in boxing than there is in MMA.
Big time.
Is MMA
There should be more.
featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight? Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know, I think boxing was originally like that. Every old school, there's no super middleweight, there was no light welterweight, there was no, you know, it was basically welterweight, lightweight, middleweight. Or do you think MMA need to implement that in the future for like safety of the fighters?
I think that will open the avenue for more fighters as well. So if you've got 500 fighters on the roster of the UFC, you're going to have to get 1,000 to fill the gaps in. You know what I mean? You have to get another 500 to fill the gaps in. And then you could make super fights on the fly. Nate Diaz has fallen out of Conor McGregor fight, but Tony Ferguson has said he'll fight at 157 or 8. You know what I mean? Because he ain't in camp. And then we'll fight for that world title then.
Yeah.
And then you can have champs and things like that. You can have like 5 division champions and stuff like that. It sells more. It sells a lot more.
So about like weight cutting and that, I do remember, like, you hear about, like, pro boxers do it. I know pro boxers are using more like the water loading technique now than they used to. Like, I know George Groves does it. I know there's loads of fighters who do it, drop water. But the one time I've seen it really up close, once was Luke Paddock, the old pro boxer, who fought. I think he was defending his Midlands, was he? I think, and he had a bad time cutting weight. But another time, it was so personally up close, was you when, even though I never said it to you, when I think, was it the Jimmy Thompson?
Yeah,
Jimmy
Thompson. Yeah, Jimmy Thompson.
And I remember you coming on the Wednesday or the Thursday just for a light pad session. I think it was like 3 or 4 rounds just before. And you come in, I was like, all right, mate, how you doing? I was like, wow. I was like, I saw you like the weekend, and you was like happy, you know, normal. And then I was like, you look ill. I was like, you look on the pads. I never said to you, but you was like, you know, and then I was like, wow. And then you was like completely calm. You knew what you was doing. But I was like, who? I was thinking, God. And then you kept in contact with me through the Wayne. I saw your picture in the scales. I'm like, man. But then when I saw you on fight night, you're completely back to normal again. It's just crazy. You just rehydrate fully right back up. It's just...
Yeah, weight cutting's horrible, man. I mean, that camp, I lost 8.6 kilo in the week of the fight. Well, not even the week. It's probably Monday to Friday morning. I lost about 8.6 kilo. So I water loaded and then do what I usually do, but the water load didn't work as good. That's why it went a bit ticked up, to be fair. The water load, usually I drop a lot of weight. I'll drop about 7 kilo off a water load without doing any kind of passing.
Within 24 hours, yeah?
No. So the week, 5 days generally.
Yeah.
I'll lose about 7 kilo. No water, no baths, no saunas, no nothing. I'll just lose 7 kilo naturally. Did it twice. And I think that was down to the fact that I wasn't drinking as much water back then. But now I started following, which is unhealthy as well in my sense. But now I'm drinking 2 gallons maybe a day in fight camp, 1-2 gallons a day. Yeah. So then when I do 2 gallons, 1 gallon, 1 gallon, half a gallon, quarter of a gallon, 2 gallons ain't going to get my flushing system going, which is the aldosterone and all that sort of stuff, which regulates your water and all that jazz.
Yeah.
It's not going to turn it on or turn it off. It's not going to affect it because it's normal. It's already on. You know what I mean? So it's not going to flush my body out if it's normal. You know what I mean? You need to, with water loading, you need to up the water so it actually has something to flush out. Because it's like, well, this isn't natural. We've got too much water on here. And flush. So that was a dodgy one because I had to cut. To me, it felt like about 8 kilo in the bath over 2 days. That's what it felt like to me. I felt like the water load just did not work in the slightest. And then the Rustam fight was a way easier camp because actually I diet down properly. That last the Jimmy Thompson fight, I think I come in about 84 kilo to camp because I was lazy. But I come down from 94 before that, so I was off training and stuff. So I went from 94 to 84, 84 to 78 to 78 to 70.4. I think I got
Yeah.
to. Rustam fight though, I weighed in the week of the fight 70.
Yeah, I
Happy
remember
days.
he was a lot lighter for that camp than you was. I think it was because
Laser.
it was quite. What was one in March, one in June, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was back to back, wasn't it?
So you had what? It was like a week off, 2 weeks off, and before you know it, he was back in again. You know what I mean? He was back
Yeah,
in the gym.
I was fine. Oh, I think I entered the camp at about 78. So I dieted down to 74. Week of the weight cut, 74 kilo, absolutely easy. I think it was three baths. My baths are nowhere near as hot as most people are. Some people go nuts on baths, like hot,
Yeah.
100-degree baths and stuff like that. It's like, that's not normal. Mine's just comfortable. It's like a normal bath. You sit in a normal bath for 30 minutes, so much you sweat. It's not nice. But it's the fact you got to get in and out every fight. And I think I did about three or four of them, and I was good to go. About 25, 30 minutes to go. Wasn't that bad. I just moaned because it was a weight cut.
Yeah, cool.
But other than that, it was absolutely fine. It's the worst experience, to be fair, but it's got to be done.
When you're doing that weight cut, what's so when you're like, when you're like at the end of the day, the last 24 hours or whatever, you're suffering. You're doing the last bit in the bath. Do you ever feel? Does it ever creep in your head? Have I cocked this up? I feel so weak. Am I gonna be able to fight tomorrow? Have I? Or you?
No, never.
Even the Thompson fight.
Jimmy Thompson was a weird one because, and you'll know this one now. I don't know if I told you this. The Jimmy Thompson fight was a weird one because the whole day of the fight, I had a headache. I got a bad headache.
No, you never told me that.
Yeah, I was like, I told no one until like I think 5 minutes before the fight. I went, I've had a bad headache all day. So that was a weird one, but I got in there. I always think the adrenaline's going to kick in anyway and just crack on with it. To be fair, I don't see a problem with it. If I rehydrate properly, I've got no problems. I think I'll rehydrate pretty good. And now I've got a nutritionist, RXI Nutrition. So there you go. Share it for that one. He does a really good job. We haven't managed to have a full camp yet together, but my weight drops off perfectly. I've got no worries. I feel confident with him. And his rehydration process is way more efficient than what I usually do. So, you know what I mean? It's better.
Well, he's pro at doing it, and if he's doing that constantly all the while with different fighters and stuff like that, it's like anything. You're going to perfect it. The more you do it, the more you.
Yeah, definitely. I just think it's an easy thing. I think weight cutting's needed to a degree, but it can be done a lot better. A lot better.
Right, and so we've gone from weight cutting. Now I want to ask you, because obviously being an MMA fighter, obviously, like I say, I'm mainly boxing based, but so then MMA, being an MMA fighter, you've got to incorporate boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. What is the hardest to say master, but learn? What's the hardest? I've got my opinion on it just because I've only done a little bit of it, but I was like, I've done a little bit with you.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit with you and stuff like that, and I'm like, BJJ, I was like, oh my God. I was like, you've got to be.
Yeah.
It is like a game, in my opinion. Look, I mean, there's you and a lot of millions of people know more than me, but I was like, when I was doing like a little bit of a role with you towards the end, and I think I've got something, and then you go, well, yeah, but I've got this, that, and I was like, man, I think it's just, you've got to be so many steps ahead. It's like human aggression chess, and I was like, so wow, that's to master that is, if you're a black belt in BJJ, you're
serious, man. You're definitely serious. I think
what's your
MMA wise.
What's that? Sorry,
MMA wise.
Yeah.
I think BJJ is the hardest to master because of all the options.
Yeah, the technique.
The hardest as well. The hardest sport itself is boxing or wrestling.
Yeah,
because you're limited.
Yeah,
you're limited and it's fast paced. It's heavy paced. Jiu-jitsu, you can kind of I've seen guys go there for 7 minutes and they'll just lay on their back and hold the gi grip, and it's like, okay,
survive.
Yeah, you're all right. If I hold the gi grip, you can hold someone off in a sense. Boxing, if you've got an amateur champion in there, you've got to try and hold them off with 2 hands and your head movement. That's about it. Wrestling, if someone's going to wrestle you, if you touch your back to the floor, game over, they'll pin you, game over, done. It's not hard to lose. Jiu-jitsu, it's a weird one, especially MMA as well, because MMA, jiu-jitsu can fail you quite easily, because all you'll do is, if you do jiu-jitsu, you've got you might be great at having someone lie on their back and you're on top, and you can't get up because this is how jiu-jitsu is played.
Yeah.
Wrestling, if you don't hold someone down properly, they're getting up because they don't want to be pinned on their back. They can't be. They lose. Boxing, you can't just like be pinned. You're gonna get beaten up. You can't play a game. You know, when MMA comes into it, jiu-jitsu's great if you've got wrestling and boxing, or just wrestling in general is pretty good to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And boxing exactly the same. It's great to have if you've got kickboxing to learn about defenses and things like that. But jiu-jitsu's great if you can use it.
Yeah.
If you've got a guy who doesn't want to stay on the ground with you, good luck. That's what I can think. Is just, you've got not much chance. If you've got Rustam's a good example. He wanted to be on the floor, and I didn't mind being on the floor, but I was like, well, I'm beating him standing, so what's the point? So I just stood up. He couldn't hold me in his guard.
Yeah, I remember the ones where you just stood up. Yeah, I remember that in the fight.
Yeah, it's like, do something about it then. He couldn't take me down, so I was like, do something about it.
Yeah.
His jiu-jitsu meant nothing because he couldn't get hold of me, so there's no point. But wrestling, if you get a wrestler grabs hold of you, you're in a nightmare. Do you know what I mean? He's going to slam you on your head. Yeah. It's going to be horrible.
I remember the one, I mean, obviously, I've not watched nowhere near as much MMA fights as you have, but I remember it was a massive fight. It was a huge fight, McGregor-Mendes. And I remember, and I was like, oh, McGregor's going to bang him at this is that wrestlers. Because obviously, I'm ignorant to the fact that back then anyway, I was like, boxers, wrestling, just rolling around the floor. Because I never had a classic. As soon as I'd done my first little session in jiu-jitsu, I was like, wow. I think it's one of them sports, unless you try it, you don't respect it. And I think that's people who like come from striking background or fans of boxing just think jiu-jitsu is I'm just rolling around, but it's man, if it's so demeaning when someone's on top of you and you cannot do anything about it.
Boxing, there's always a chance. Kickboxing, there's always a chance.
Yeah.
You could swing it over and if they don't see it coming, bang, you can knock them out. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu, there is no lucky punch. Yeah. There is nothing. There's no such thing. You know what I mean?
But I remember the Mendes and McGregor fight, and how Mendes just every time, and at the time I was thinking like McGregor's some great, and every time Mendes bang took him down, bang took him down, bang took the elbows, and I was like, wow, I was like, and that's just wrestling. That's wrestling.
Yeah, and the thing is, if Mendes would have had the gas tank to go the rounds, that might have been McGregor's first loss there in the UFC. That might have been his first loss. It could have been. But McGregor knew that he was he was off camp. He wasn't good in cardio.
Yeah, the ACL and all that, yeah.
Exactly. He's a wrestler. So it was, because back then the choice was Frankie Edgar or Chad Mendes.
Yeah.
Frankie Edgar is generally always in shape.
Yeah.
And he's a good wrestler as well. Chad Mendes, though, great wrestler, very powerful, but ain't trained. So now, if he can weather a storm, which he did, he can knock him out because he'll gas.
A lot of time, them elbows he was hitting McGregor with as well. A lot of people would be out with them elbows as well on the floor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
McGregor, one thing with McGregor's got a chin, man. McGregor can take a shot.
Oh, mate, yeah.
And I remember them elbows was clean right there, and he was just talking to him. He was
mad. Elbows are a weird thing, man, because they'll either slice you or break you.
Yeah, so that was kind of like slices, weren't they? But some of them was like, even the forearm was hitting him. The forearm was catching him as well. I'm like,
some were thuds, man. It's a weird one, especially with MMA and wrestlers. Then you got it, it's like elbowing your face in. Man, you've got to learn to stop them.
Yeah,
stop them. And the best way to stop them is to get up, and that's where wrestling comes in. Jiu-jitsu doesn't teach you, so that's a downside.
So what we'll do now, so we've covered that. So what I want to cover now then is your best moment in MMA so far.
Knocking Jimmy Thompson out. 100%. 100% the best feeling I've ever had. Yeah. Not because he was a nice guy. He came up to me, shook my hand before the fight and everything. Nice guy, but that was by far the best moment I've ever had.
Yeah, because it was like, I get that.
It was like...
It was how it happened as well. It was a statement. That was a statement. I
thought he was joking. I thought when he leaned forward, I thought he was like taking the mick, and then he collapsed backwards. Yeah. I was like, oh, he's out cold.
What surprised me with it was, not surprised me, but I think it was like the fact that what I mean by statement, it was like, because everybody like before that was like, even before even met, like, you know, just was like, people would tell me, like Jay would tell me, people who used to train with you, Lucy's very good on the ground, Lucy's ground, and and then all of a sudden you knock the lad out in 40 odd seconds. I was like, and then that gave me satisfaction as well, just because I'm your boxing coach. And I was like, see, you ain't just a ground jiu-jitsu wrestler. It's and you're kicking now. You're kicking, you know what I mean? Your kicking's on point as well.
Yeah, that's it. I think
MMA, you are mixed martial arts, and you get some people.
100%.
That's what you want to be. In my opinion, there's too many people who the jiu-jitsu, do jiu-jitsu, and you can tell the stand-up ain't that good, just the way the stand and stuff like that. Whereas the idea is, I mean, you look at someone like John Jones or GSP, great all-rounders.
Yeah.
All-rounders, you know, the great everything.
Thing is about all-rounders is in an amateur MMA, you get all-rounders that aren't good at anything. They're just decent. But then I think the good fighters and the great fighters are the ones that are jack of all trades with one giant X factor. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like my counter boxing, that's my X factor. You know what I mean? I feel like John Jones, he's wrestling, massive X factor. It's not about his kickboxing, it's about his wrestling. If he wants to take you down, he'll take you down when he fancies. George St. Pierre, wrestling, take down. You know what I mean? They're all really good at everything, but they've got one massive X factor. Something that makes them unique. McGregor, counter boxing. Counter boxing is phenomenal.
What would you be? So we've done that. So what's your worst moment in MMA? It ain't got to be anything in a fight. It can be anything in a camp. It can be.
Okay. Bad moment, good moment in a way. My last body shot fight at amateur, I had essentially I had no team. I trained with 3 different gyms, and these gyms, fantastic gyms, great gyms, but I didn't have a team. So I walked out to a crowd of people like, well, he doesn't really train with us, but he does really train with us. And I was fighting a guy who I thought, he's not that great. Turns out he's now the #1 ranked welterweight in the country. I should have beat him if I had a team behind me. I think I'm confident I would have.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing fighter. He's a very good fighter. And I come out to a crowd of people that were like, shall we cheer him? Shall we not? My family were all cheering all that jazz. But your team, I didn't have a team with me. And it spurred me on to realise one thing, I needed a team. I couldn't train myself. You get all these independent fighters. I don't know how they do it. I genuinely have no clue how they do it. They've got no backing. No one's behind them. That was probably my worst moment because I felt like I should have beat him. And everyone afterwards were like, well, what happened there then? I was like, I don't know. I hadn't a clue. But that's what I'd say. I think that was a good eye-opener, though, because it did teach me that I needed a fight camp. I needed a team. I couldn't train myself.
Yeah,
I learned some great things.
You need a coach. You need a team. Any sport.
Yeah, definitely. You need to.
What do you see in the future now? So, Ivan West, what do you see in the future?
Depending on this quarantine, when lockdown ends up and everything. Personally, I want 2 more fights by the end of the year.
Yeah.
That should get me to 6-0. Hopefully top 10 in the country, maybe top 20, I reckon. Then next year, that's when I really want to start to pick it up. Hopefully get 4 fights in. That four fights sounds about right, but that's once every 3 months. So that's 4 weeks, and then a training camp, 4-week training camp. It's perfect, really. That would be my ideal one. Go about 10-0 professional the year after. That'd be nice. 2022, so 2022 professional, or even 4 amateur fights, and then late December or December time, or you know what I mean, very late in the year. Boom, let's have a professional fight.
Because that's the thing. You're only young. How old are you, Lou? How old are you?
24 this year.
I mean, that's young, isn't it? That's young. I mean,
it is nowadays. I keep telling myself that I'm not, but it is a young age.
It is in MMA. I mean, it was. It's in boxing as well, but MMA, it's like, especially because it's strange with unless you're a top, because MMA you ain't got boxing's got GB. You're born. If you're a good GB and you medal in the Olympics, boom, you get you get there or you get with a big promoter. Whereas in MMA, you've got to prove yourself on the circuit, didn't you, as a pro?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
work your way up
And
to
even
your elite Bellator or UFC.
exactly, even if you prove yourself, you still might be lucky to get on a prelim of
Yeah,
Cage Warriors or
yeah,
something, which is good to be fair. But I mean, get on Cage Warriors. That's the only good thing is amateur nowadays. You can get on Cage Warriors and
yeah,
Bellator, and you can get on them as an amateur now, which is quite a nice thing. And then
yeah,
if you get on there, you show that you could be on the professional stage when you do turn over. So
yeah.
that's a positive. It's one of them. It's a good time to be in MMA,
Yeah.
especially amateur. Back in the day, it was like there was one show,
It's
one
getting,
show.
it's definitely getting bigger. Definitely getting
Yeah,
bigger, and that's riding the wave back at the back of the wave of UFC. The more UFC gets bigger, the more MMA are going to get bigger because more people want to
yeah,
do it. Getting
definitely.
gyms. The more gyms you get, the more shows you're going to put on. The more that's the way it is really.
Yeah. And UFC are building gyms over here now. They've got the UFC gym in Nottingham,
I
and
bet I
so they're
never even knew that.
yeah, it's gonna be massive, man. It's gonna be a big time. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. So mate, that'll do.
Lovely, my mate.
So thank you very
Always
much for
great.
your time. Sorted.
Thank you very much, as always.
Yes. Thanks for talking. Thank you for your interview. Right then, I will catch you later, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, mate. Thank you very
Thank
much. See you in
you.
a bit.
Yeah. Bye, mate. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye. Bye bye.